so much talk. You can't deliver. Listen. Man, not so much talk. See, me not in a that talk up on a real bad girl and I take back talk. Say a shall. Watch him turn idiot. I think two times pity I come like but get a blood, get a piece of the pie. Claim you're a girl, but you can't satisfy. Fuck a man, never too damn my hands high to the sky when I make compromise. Independent, but like the analyst. Ever ready, ever see a girl I look so pissed. And I would done the dance, I'ma turn and twist. Every man I wanna get to the point we get.
Hello, my name is Rhonda Carter, also known as JUUL Jones. I'm a plus size model. I'm a single mom. I'm a operations manager. I'm a photographer. I am a business owner, fashion designer. I'm every woman. So.
And actually, what actually influenced you to be a plus size model?
I've always been in the fashion industry, affiliated with the fashion industry, because in high school, it started in high school. I'm always coordinated fashion shows. Always been interested in making my own clothes. So as an adult, I started coordinating fashion shows for the Baltimore Ravens. They have a benefit every year, and I assisted with coordinating that show. And it so happened on my 40th birthday, I had a photographer take pictures, and he asked if I was interested in, this is how I became professional, if I was interested in doing a test shoot. I did, and he showed it to a friend, and that friend called me, and that's all she wrote.
As a plus size model, what are your prior experiences?
I'm sorry?
What are your prior experiences as a plus size model?
Oh my goodness.
Now, name a few, like the ones that you really have the most greatest experience.
The greatest experience was this weekend, definitely, for New York Fashion Week. That was something that was on my bucket list, something that I always wanted to do. That was my goal. I gave myself 5 years. It happened in less than a year. The presidential inauguration fashion show in DC. That it was an honor to do that. That was one of the most. Oh wow! It was well coordinated, and it was just so. It was so professional, and I've never been to a show like that before. I mean, they just critiqued you down to your fingernails, and because there was a lot of influential people there, so. Everything had to be up to par. Just seeing a bunch of different designers from different countries, and it was beautiful. So it was an honor to be a part of. Those two I definitely would say were my most memorable.
Do you believe the term plus size industry is overrated? If so, what do you call it?
You know what? I don't have a problem with plus size, queen size, full figure. You know what? I just say, just call me. As long as they're calling me, I don't care. But to me, I actually love the word plus, because to me, plus means extra. It means just that extra something, or in addition to. So to me, it's like above average. So I actually like the word plus size.
What desires you most or least of the current industry of the plus size?
I think that within the industry, there's a lot of discrimination. I've been told on many occasions that I was too small, or that I'm not really considered plus size. I'm a size 14, and that's industry, size. But I've definitely that's the biggest thing to me, and I think that the word curvy is used too loosely, because you have plus size models, then you have there's plus size models with curves, but I think that you have to be real. You have to be so real, and I think that a lot of times people in the industry sugarcoat the fact that there should be guidelines, just like there are guidelines to being a doctor. You wouldn't want a doctor that didn't go to medical school to do an operation on you. But there has to be some sort of guidelines or requirements, because to me, just having a pretty face and being full figure is not good enough. I see a lot of girls at these fashion shows, and they're not prepared. They don't have model bags, and they're asking, "Can I borrow your shoes? Can I?" So it's just, to me, a lot of times people think that I'm big and I'm pretty, I could be a model, but there's no preparation, no grooming. So I just think that it's just a lot of discrimination and a lot of clicks. But the way I see it is, if I don't get casted for something, that means it wasn't for me. And there's 1,000,001 ways to break into the industry, and sometimes you just got to be creative.
What have you learned from the past plus size models, like from like the 50s, 60s, 70s, and currently now, and in the fashion world for plus size women? What do you think of it now?
I think that I've definitely learned that confidence will take you a long way, but also listening and looking, you can learn a lot. The industry has changed. And you have to always keep yourself educated. You always have to learn the new walks. Like there's this European walk, I'm like, what is that? So try to keep yourself, educated and in the loop at all times. Not every job that I do is a paying job. Sometimes you do it just to, for the experience, for the exposure, and just to keep yourself abreast of, what's going on, the new trends.
Who influenced you to become a plus size model?
Children. I was so on the fence about it because being a single mom, you have to do double duty, mom and dad. My kids are teenagers, and they kind of let me know that we don't need you as much, or you need to get a life. And then my mother really. I mean, I think she's prouder than me. She's more proud of me than I think I am. So to see her face light up when she see a picture, of me, and she's showing all her friends. Definitely, on the professional side, I would probably have to say Mia. I followed her career until she passed, and she's beautiful. She was so beautiful, so confident, and she's definitely my influence on the professional side.
If you were to imitate a famous model or a famous celebrity, either plus size or smaller, who would you imitate?
Oh my goodness, I would probably say Tyra Banks. I love Tyra Banks. I learned so much from watching America's Next Top Model. My very first photo shoot, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And my daughter and I, we went on YouTube and we put in Tyra's name and America's Next Top Model, and I just learned so much. And she's fierce. I watched her runway walk, and she was always unique. Love her signature walk, and she was just daring. She's bold, and she gives it to you raw. And I love that, because I don't like when people sugarcoat things. It's like, tell me the truth, and I'm thick-skinned, I'm grown. There's not much you can tell me about my body I don't know. You won't hurt my feelings because I got bat wings or whatever. So, yeah, I love Tyra.
What type of modeling have you done, and what is your favorite type of modeling?
I've done print work. I've done some print work, catalog, and of course runway. I've done promotional modeling. I've been hosting, and I would definitely say that runway is definitely my favorite. It's the best feeling in the world. It's refreshing. It is, you get to let loose, and I love it. I love attention. I've been 5'9" since I was 12 years old, so I'm used to attention. But I love the garments. I love modeling clothes. I love the challenge of wearing something that you've never worn before, or something that you normally wouldn't wear, and pulling it off and selling that garment to the audience, because that is what our job is. We sell the clothes.
Do you believe in the plus size industry and modeling is a key of motivation for plus size women out there who had never modeled, or just needed the motivation to push to get into the music, the fashion industry?
I think so, but I also think that it's to me, a lot of plus size women that I know, just the fact that they see me out there, and I show them pictures of other plus size models that may be a little larger, and it just helps build that confidence. So again, just because you're large and you're pretty doesn't mean you want to be a model, but it does give a lot of women I know the courage to say, oh, I could wear that. Oh, okay, so I'm teaching them about body foundation, and yeah. Then I do have some friends that are plus size that never modeled before, and they see that I'm doing it now, and it does influence them to want to do it too. So I'm glad to be an inspiration to a lot of people, but to me, it's more about the confidence. Just how do you and teach them how to take a picture. If you have a little stomach, teach them how to pose to minimize the stomach and things like that. So it definitely it influenced a lot of my friends and family.
Ms. JUUL Jones, let's see, where did you get that name, JUUL Jones?
JUUL Jones. JUUL Jones, that is my alter ego, I call her. JUUL Jones comes from back in the day, a long time ago. A friend of mine used to call me Jules because he used to always tell me I was a jewel, I was a diamond in the rough. And it was funny because I was like, oh, that sounds like a stripper's name. And he's like, no, we'll spell it different, JUUL. So that was like 10 years ago, and it just kind of stuck with me, and then other people heard him call me that, and that's the name that we would use whenever there was something outside the box that I would normally do. So that was my alter ego. It's like, oh, JUUL Jones would, Rhonda wouldn't do that, but JUUL Jones would do it. So JUUL Jones she's bad, she's fearless, she's a go-getter, and when she's on that runway in that cat suit, that's JUUL Jones. So I love it.
What can you say for those who needed that motivation, that for the wants and the needs to be a plus size model? What can you say to them for that motivation?
I would say make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. I always say to a lot of aspiring models, do you want to be a model or do you just want to be seen? And you got to really do some soul searching, because that's a really deep question. Are you doing it for self-gratification and, acceptance? And I find one of my biggest pet peeves is what I call butt shots or ass shots or whatever. And a lot of times those women are craving attention. So it's not that they want to be models. It's just that they want, they're saying, look at me. So I would say make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. And make sure that you're really confident, because you can look, I've learned so much looking at other people's pictures and then looking at my pictures and then looking at magazines, and a lot of times we say we're confident, but we're really not confident, or we're taking a picture but we're not committing to it because we're afraid to open up. So it's funny because some of my friends that say they want to be models, I'll take pictures of them. I'll say, okay, well, let's do a photo shoot. And I'll let them look at the picture. And then I'll say, okay, now look at your face. You're not committing to the picture. And they'll say, oh, it's harder than I thought. So for some reason, a lot of people are afraid to just let go, let loose, be themselves, and just commit to the picture. And it's like we're holding back. So yeah, I would just say make sure that you definitely learn about the industry. Make sure you know your body. You can make sure you're thick skinned, and just make sure that you are doing it for the right reasons.
And that's all the questions I have for you.
Yay.
This is Rhonda Jones. This is Terrell Antoine Waiters, reporting for Queen Size Magazine. Thank you very much.
Man, I so much talk. Man, I so much talk.